For fractured poets who have considered never competing again after receiving a low score in a poetry slam. / when the open mic is enough. Is there anything more gut-wrenching than spilling your guts on the stage until all 22 feet of your small intestine are wrapped around the stand of the microphone and you could barely stand, but all the lights are on and both your legs are trembling with the inside of your boots resembling an 8.6 on the Richter scale? Because you know that as an artist, we don't get to fail in public because it just might lead to our passing in private. Is there anything more deafening than a crowd rewarding your sacrifice with silence? Deciding which poems to use in a slam is akin to cutting yourself open and choosing which organs to offer to strangers for their approval. Like, how can you have 10 of my ribs in possession and still give me a 7? If I throw in my pancreas, there's no way it gets lower than an 8, especially if I throw it on a plate. If I toss in both kidneys, they might just do. But if I add in my colon, I don't think I can stomach anything lower than a 9.2. And you know what? Since I had my appendix removed as a kid, that's one of the organs that I can never use again. So maybe if I cut out my one heart and place it on the side where my appendix used to reside, the combination of the 1 and the 0 will produce a 10. These are the parts of me that everyone else hardly sees, and a few never do. I love both my parents, but those two never knew about my painkiller addiction, and they still don't. But one of my most common fan requests that I always get is, hey, when you gonna spit that pill poem? And when you're done, I want you to spit that one where you're crying. I don't actually want you to kill yourself, but I want you to spit that one about trying after all. What's wrong with cutting your stitches to reopen wounds in an open room where even if they give you your flowers, you still have to hope they bloom? Surrounded by judges. And not just the 5 who justify if I get to stay alive, if I continue to survive. This whole world loves the prosecutors, so I guess that makes me the defendant. I did the crime. I mean, I wrote the poem, but unlike a real courtroom, I don't get a chance to defend it. Am I not entitled to a fair trial by a jury of my peers? I will not be bridled by a bare smile when the fury reappears. I don't need that feedback when you fake and friendly. You know me from my poetry, but I've been distancing myself socially long before COVID made it trendy. Had my face behind a mask before and after the panoramic broke. Poetry has always been my antidote, so no, you don't get to judge me. And I'd love to see you attempt to hold me in contempt, because when it comes to these hands, no one is exempt. Let's see you stand in this spotlight and not fight about every last aggrieving score they give you. Because I know a heavy poem could be heartbreaking to listen to, but it's even more to live through.